Hello, welcome to my kitchen. I know it's about 9:10 in the morning, but I am gonna make this for our lunch. So I'm gonna show you all the ingredients, all the pans and everything that I have, and get started. So this is all the stuff I have for the rice pilaf. Bay leaf, salt and pepper, clarified butter, onions, and then that's the pan I'm gonna use for the rice pilaf. That's the pan I'm gonna use for the curled onions. That's the one I'm gonna use for the country braised chicken. And then all of the ingredients for the curled onions. And then the salt and peppers over there. And then all the stuff for the country braised chicken. Garlic, green peppers, onions, tomatoes, all the spices, chicken stock, vegetable oil, flour. And let's get started. Okay, so the recipe calls for the onions, butter, granulated sugar, and a saute pan, add enough water to barely cover them. So I measured out everything and I put the sugar in there, and it is in there, and we're gonna get it to boil. Now I have begun to do the rice pilaf in the meantime, and it's asking for the clarified butter in the oil to bring it to a heat. Now I bought the clarified butter from Publix, and I'm not gonna lie, it has a really weird consistency. It's kind of dry, but I wanted to show you that I'm using these measuring cups that have fluid ounces, tablespoons and teaspoons, and then this one has all the cups and everything as well. That way everything's accurate. And I have the clarified butter and the oil heating up. Okay, so the glazed pearl onions, it just says to bring it to a boil and allow the butter and sugar mix to kind of glaze over and allow the water to evaporate. So I'm letting that do that. So the butter and the oil I have heated up for the rice, and I put the 3 ounces of the diced onions in, as well as the bay leaf. Here's the bay leaf that I have. So we're just gonna saute that, but not let the onion get brown. Okay, so on our rice pilaf, we had to stir in the rice and completely cover it with the fat. The glazed pearl onions are still boiling, but they are looking good. The water is evaporating. And in the meantime, I have cut up the chicken, and it says cut into like 6 or 8 pieces, and then put it into the flour mixture with salt and pepper, cayenne pepper, and paprika. So that is what we're gonna do next. Okay, so we have poured our 1 quart of cooking stock into the rice, and now it is in the oven at 350 until all the liquid is absorbed and the rice is nice and fluffy. After that, we just have to stir it up and to remove the bay leaf, and that is done. Our glazed pearl onions have been done for a few minutes. So all the water evaporated, put some salt in there, and they are ready to go. So just keeping those warm. We put our chicken in the flour mixture, and then we brought it over to the pan with oil and butter, and we let it slightly cook for a minute, and then flipped it over for 30 seconds on each side. We put that on hold so we can make our tomatoes and onions, and then I just have to dice up the bell peppers, and then those are going to go into a pan. So I'm going to dice those really quick. Okay, our rice pilaf is done. All the liquid is absorbed and it's nice and fluffy, has a good texture. So we remove the bay leaf, and that is done, as well as the pearled onions. Put those to the side. And then we are still dicing up the last bell pepper. And then I wanted to go over some techniques that you would need for this. You have to know the difference between small dice, large dice, how to do the tomato concasse, I guess how you say it, which is seedless, diced, and skinless. So I'm gonna finish with the bell pepper and we'll go from there. Okay, we put our onions and bell peppers, and they are sauteing, and then we put our chicken in with the stock. Okay, so we put the chicken in, and we want that to cook to 165 internal temperature, and then that'll be done. And then we just want the sauce to thicken We'll put it on a serving plate, garnish it with some green onions and almonds. I'm going to cut those up. I wanted to go over the special equipment that you might need. Definitely pots and pans. I moved it to this bigger one, but you probably need a bigger saute pan. This one was a little small. The other one worked great for the pearled onions, and this worked great for the rice pilaf. You just want to make sure it's good for the stove and the oven. You'd obviously need a big stove and an oven. And then I used cutting boards, knives, all that stuff to dice up the veggies and stuff, plus all your ingredients, salt and pepper, stuff like that. And then if you were to serve 100 guests, you'd probably need something way bigger than this. Bigger pots and pans, probably hotel serving size pans. Bigger ovens, or if you just wanted to use this one, something similar to ones at a hotel or a bigger one, you would just put in different layers, the top rack and the bottom rack, double layer oven, stuff like that. Otherwise, I'm going to let this cook, and then I'm going to put it on a plate, show you the final result, and tell you about my experience. Okay, so this is my finished product. Put the almonds and the green onions on top with the rice pilaf and the glazed pearl onions. I started this project around 9:15 and it's 11:15, so it's kind of lunchtime. I think I'm going to dig into it. It smells delicious. Let me turn around this camera. So overall, I thought this was a really good experience. I usually make stir fry curry, so kind of reminded me of it. It was very similar. It smells delicious. I'm excited to eat it. It did take a little bit of time. It took about 2 hours between 3 things. So I know in a hotel, if you're serving a lot of guests, I now feel the pressure of a cook and have to do it in a time frame, and I have a little bit more patience now. I enjoyed everything I learned in this class. I learned how to do things differently in the kitchen, and I'm excited to see where it takes me. Alrighty, I'm gonna dig in now.